Right, everyone. How we doing? It's sunny now. It's sunny here. It was raining, and now it's sunny. Happy days. My kettle's brewed. Is it sunny? Is it sunny for everybody, or is it raining? Just let me know. It's nice to know there's some people there sometimes. Sunny or rainy, and then you get a question. Right. Nobody's talking to me. We're going to talk about delegation today, which is good. That'd be nice tea. Mug from my youth. Got a biscuit today. Raining. Sort of jam sandwich cream. Good biscuit. Just got these in. So that's nice. Biscuits especially. Yeah. So I thought we'd talk about delegation today, but equally I thought we need a question. We needed a question today. So we're staying on cakes. So I thought I'd talk about cupcakes. Where's everybody going? Everybody come back, listen to me. I'm going to talk about cupcakes and sort the tea bag out. What I want to know is when was the first cupcake? When were they kind of invented? Yes. When was the first cupcake invented? And that kind of covers cupcakes, fairy cakes, all that kind of stuff. So first cupcake, what year was the first cupcake? So when do you reckon? Let's have some guesses. Please see Matt Croft's on the line. Yes. Because first cupcake, whoever's joining, when was the first cupcake, fairy cake? So when was it invented? This is on Wikipedia, but no cheating. Just crofty guessing, 1583. It's a good cake year, 1583, 1928. Wow. Carly's celebrating from Tuesday when she got the answer right to the question. So, was it 1583? It was a good cake. I don't know there's ever been a bad cake year, in my opinion. Anyway, right. So keep the guesses coming in. When were cupcakes or fairy cakes invented? Only two guesses, and we all know that Crofty's going to be miles out. So at the moment, Carly's definitely winning. So anyway, well, let's talk about delegation. So what I thought to talk about, we're going to talk about delegation, and I'm going to talk about a little bit about how we can delegate remotely as well, because that's kind of quite important at the moment. So first, I'll start with kind of what delegation is. And delegation, one of the questions that we often get, whenever I say, oh, what's delegation? People kind of get it a bit muddled up with allocation. So allocation is where you're giving work out to the people who report to you. But delegation is where you give them extra work. So you're giving them your work. So it's work that you're accountable for, but you give them responsibility for. So you're getting people to take responsibility for extra pieces of work. So that's what it is. It's normally covered in their job description by that phrase, and any other task that is deemed necessary by the business to meet its objectives and goals, that kind of thing. Yeah, that's what delegation is. That's the difference between delegation and allocation, though. Right. So then, what we then got to think about is what's the point of doing it? So the reasons we do delegate, there's benefits to everyone. So there's benefits to the business with things like succession planning, sharing out the load quite nicely. So it can kind of help build teamwork, create a better teamwork ethic. But then for the manager, there's certain benefits as well. So some of those benefits would be, well, I've spoken about time management in my kitchen over the past 10 weeks, but one of the things there was the manager would then be able to do other important tasks, like maybe planning, maybe like a bit of strategic work, things like that, if they can move some of their other tasks away. So that's another benefit for the manager, time. It can create that tighter team, as I've said. Let them do maybe some work that's been delegated to them, because the manager can get delegated as well. So that would be something else. And then to the delegatee, well, that person's getting quite a lot because they're getting opportunity. It's going to build trust. They're going to feel empowered. They're going to be motivated if it's done correctly. And that's what we'll be aiming for, obviously. But we've probably all been a victim of when delegation's been done badly and it's left us not like that. But that's where things like phrases like, I know you're really busy, but could you do me a favour? I'm sorry to dump this on you. And these are the things that we don't really want to hear in delegation. So once it kind of comes round to it, like how are we going to delegate? How do we do that? How do we go up to somebody? If I can't say I'm really sorry to have to ask, because that's not really setting the mood for it. We can do things like maybe I need your help. I know you're really good at this. You said you wanted to find out more about this kind of work. I want to show you how to do this. Yeah, so that kind of that changes the whole thing from I'm really in a fix and I need your help to actually you're the right person for this. So we kind of think about the way we're going to do that. There's the people that we're going to delegate to, we have to think about. So who do we delegate to? And I don't mean, oh, you'll delegate to Tony and Sherry or something like that. We think about the types of people. So there's people who want to learn. They're easy to spot. They put their hands up, they're keen. But there's also people who need to learn. Perhaps they may be a little bit bored, a bit stuck in their role. So you know, sometimes when people are bored, they look like they're disinterested, but maybe they're just stuck and they just need a new opportunity, something like that. So that's one of the kind of people you could pick up with. Other people are people who've kind of got potential, or they might even have the current skill set. Sometimes you see that potential in people and you think, well, I'll give them this opportunity. So there's some of the people that you can delegate to, the people that you trust, really. But there's other people that you shouldn't, like people who aren't yours for a start. You can't delegate to other people. You can't delegate to people as a punishment. So you can't delegate to somebody knowing they will fail. So you can't set people up to fail. That's not great. And then, of course, we've got the tasks. So what tasks have I got? So you come in and you've got like 50 tasks to do. And sometimes you can't. Some tasks you can't delegate. That would be things like, I don't know, performance reviews. Private and confidential work, crisis situations, customer complaints, that kind of thing. Anything that's directly to you. Also stuff that's been delegated to you. You can't roll it downhill. You can allocate work down, but you can't delegate delegated work unless that's been agreed. So what have you got left? Well, maybe something that they can do better. Something they showed an interest in, something along those lines. But it could also be whole tasks. So don't just kind of pick and choose the bit that you want, really. So, you know, you go and do all the nice, exciting research and then you say, could you type it all up for me? So where possible, give them the whole task. And also I'd say, give them a variety. And by that, what I mean is, don't give everybody the really good work or the really not so good work. Because, you know, if you give them all the good work, they'll think your job is just great. There's good bits, but every job's got not a good bit about it. And so don't be afraid to delegate those bits out. One man's junk is another man's treasure. But of course, what we do know is there's just some rubbish bits in every job. And hey, let's delegate those out as well. But we want those routine pieces to work. So we're getting payback. We don't want to delegate the annual report because we're only going to get one payback. Yeah. So things that are done weekly are good things to delegate out. So regular tasks, whole tasks, variety of tasks. Yeah. And if we get that right, then normally we can say things like, I need your help. I know you're good at this. But if it's not a great task, we can say, guys, I really need this kind of job done. Let's all do it together. I know it's not the most exciting task, so we can be honest. But what happens is, a lot of times people don't feel they can be honest. So they say, oh, I've got a really great opportunity for you. Where actually it's like, can you put 500 things in a box for me? So that's less good. So then we've got the person, we've got the task. If anybody's joined, my question today is, what year were cupcakes invented? Cupcakes or fairy cakes, anything like that. So if you want to put a date in, that's absolutely fine. Cupcakes or fairy cakes when they were invented. Just type your year in, the first year of those cakes. Then we get to how we're going to do it. I said we're going to use phrases like I need your help. I know you're good at. Tell them and explain to them what you want it to look like at the end, not how you do it. That's kind of one of the key things. Don't just give them a 10-point checklist, because you want to empower them. You want to give them the freedom to do it themselves, to say it's got to be able to do this at the end. But how you do it, that could be up to you, because they could come up with a better way than you. Of course, give them like kind of deadlines, all the things they've got, what authority they have, what resources they've got. Make sure we're not leaving them out to dry. And where possible, then just thinking, oh, that 1 year could make all the difference. Make sure you've got the resources. You know, you're there to help them. You're there to help them. And then what we've got to think about is, what about remotely? Does it change? Well, key things for me that I think do make it change. Communication is even more vital. So where possible, we've got to speak to them first. We've got to go face to face first before we perhaps put it down on paper. Now, we're all using it before we're putting it on communication tools virtually. Now, we're all using so much instant messenger, Slack, emails, Zoom, anything like that. But remember, if you're going to delegate something, it's best to set up a paper trail, even if it's a virtual paper trail. So that's where maybe some of those tools work less well, but you will need a paper trail for it. But talk first, then communicate in another way. You're probably going to have to explain more because they can't see you quite so well, whereas you could sit somebody down. So it's going to take a little bit more. Make sure that the technology is there that they will need, because sometimes it's about privileges that you have, and if you delegate it out, then they might not have the same privileges. And really importantly here is let everybody else know. In an office, in your normal workspace, people can kind of see what's going on. But if you're delegating one-on-one, they won't know what you've done. So you've got to let other people know, particularly if you're delegating something where they'll approach other people. So any paper trails, explain more, and we don't need to micromanage. It is about trust. So don't judge everybody by their status on instant messenger or something like that, because they could be doing the task which is not served instant messenger on. So that comes back to that remote leader about don't find out what people are doing, find out how they are. That's really important. Once the task is done and they give it back to you, then it's about feedback. Worst case scenario, take it off them and do it yourself. If it's not correct, then give them some feedback and give them the opportunity to correct it. Don't just take it off them and go, oh yeah, well done, thanks a lot, and then go away and think, I'll never delegate to that person again. What I need you to do is explain feedback. They will have done what they believe to be a good job. Might not be 10 out of 10, but they think nobody's going to give you a piece of work back that they think is really poor. So they must think, oh yeah, it's going to be about that 7 out of 10 kind of thing. All right, so they're my kind of key tips. Think about the people, think about the tasks, think about the benefits. Then our simple process about how we delegate. Yes, we can use technology now, but it's better to go face to face and create a paper trail, even in these remote times. Don't judge people all the time on how you'd work, because they will do it differently. Remember to tell everybody about the responsibility. Keep talking to your people about what you've offered them to do, and that will help. As a tool for a manager, delegation is one of the top skills that's required. So don't be afraid to delegate. Make sure you're doing it for the right reason, to motivate and to build trust. That's what it's there for. Right, good. Now, next Tuesday, because we've got a weekend coming up, so next Tuesday, what we're going to do is I've been doing a bit of research, and one of the things that I want to talk about next week is some of the challenges that managers are going to face when they're back in the workplace. So that the post-lockdown challenges for a manager. And so that's what we're going to have a look at next week. I think that's quite an interesting topic. Thinking about how are people going to change? Are they going to work differently? Is there going to be different demands? And what might the manager have to face? Because it's going to be a different place we're going back to. So we'll have a little look at that next Tuesday. And of course, the question, when was the cupcake or the fairy cake first invented? And there was a few guesses came in. And I think that must be Claire Barnes, come in right at the death with 1825. And it was, in fact, 1796. 1796. So there's somebody who knows their cakes. So I'm off to enjoy my party ring. And there's no joke there. And anyway, you all have a great weekend, and I'll see you soon.